What if I told you can declutter your house and make about $2,000 doing it in the process? I hate clutter. I don't know. Do you feel the same way? If I can make money getting rid of clutter, that's a good thing. And so I took a month and sold off all kinds of junk all around my house and ended up making over $2,000 from selling all this. So that's what I want to chat about. And it might even be easier than you think. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what I did and how you can do it too. All right, so for me, this whole process started with books. And I had a bookshelf full of books that I wasn't gonna read again, and so I figured let's just declutter and make some money from it. Because I know some of you do not have as many books as I do and you don't care about selling books. I created an entirely separate video on that, which I will link to down below, that you can go view if you have a bunch of books to sell. We move on to the other stuff that you have in your house. Next on the list, I went and found anything around my house that I didn't need and wasn't going to use. And I pretty much asked myself, if I haven't used this in the last year and I don't see a need for it the next year, then it's probably time to get rid of it. Now, as you can imagine, a lot of this stuff is not stuff that you're gonna be able to sell because you and I have a lot of junk that is of nearly no value to anybody. But there's plenty of stuff in there that is of value. I've seen studies done that say that the average US household has up to $5,000 of stuff that can be sold on eBay. The average US household. So I don't know about you, and I didn't find that much for myself, but I found $2,000, so that's not too bad. All right, so how do you do this, you might ask? Well, here's what you do. Let's do it. And basically what I did was I went all around my house and just found all the items that I did not want anymore and just began taking a couple pictures of each one of them. And so then what I did was I kind of sorted them by stuff that I thought I could ship for a reasonable price, and so this might be something, 5 pounds or less. And then anything bigger than that, I wanted to sell on a local resale place. So Craigslist was what I used, but since I've done this, I've discovered a couple other apps that I like a whole lot more for this. And the main reason being is that they allow you to see reviews of the other users. They allow you to see that the other user has been verified by Facebook or something like that. And you also get to see a picture of the person in many cases. So you just know who you're dealing with versus on Craigslist. I've just found that there's just a few more scammier people on there. And it's not all the time, but occasionally somebody's, trying to scam you out of something, say, mail that thing to me and I'll mail you a check next week. And, so a lot of times it's kind of obvious that they're trying to scam you, but I haven't run into that on these other apps at all. And so here's a quick breakdown of 3 different items that I listed on Craigslist, LETGO, OfferUp, and Garage Sale. And for me, the number is the number of offers that I got on that particular item. So LETGO has kind of been the clear winner for me as I've listed a few different things. And so I'm just going to walk you through and show you exactly how easy this is. And this is kind of my go-to now for selling things locally. All right, so we will just go over here and we'll just go ahead and get the app pulled up. So here it is. And so this is your homepage. So you can just kind of click and see what other people are selling if you're interested in anything. But we're going to click sell your stuff just so we can do this. Click other items, and then we're going to just go ahead and list this Bluetooth speaker. Now what's really cool is that they try to figure out what it is for you just to make this listing process even easier. So it thinks this is a coffee maker, but we'll fix that in a second. We'll just take a picture of it, and then we can change it from coffee maker to Bluetooth speaker, because that would be disappointing, I think. And price, we'll leave the same. We'll just leave that at 20. That's fine. This is electronics, and then we'll click post. And it literally is that simple. Now you are listed up there. And if you want better chance of selling it, you can click add more details and, add the model name, add the brand. You can take a few more photos if you want, but you don't have to. It just might help you improve your chances just a little bit to sell it. And really, it's that simple. And then from here, you'll get notified if somebody's interested in what you're selling. And then you can work out a meeting place and a price and, time to meet and all that stuff. And it's as simple as that. And I've used this app a lot. It's really popular, and it's just been a great way to sell off some stuff around the house and make some extra cash from it. And this is just a quick breakdown of the things that I sold on Craigslist and how much we got for each one of them, possibly to just give you some ideas. And our approach has been that I want to sell big, bulky things locally that don't require me shipping them. So I don't want to ship a mountain bike or a mini fridge or an 8-foot ladder. Like, that stuff just doesn't make sense to ship because it would just cost me a ton to ship it. But for anything that I can ship and that isn't going to be that expensive, so ideally stuff 5 pounds or less, and it doesn't take up too much space, that stuff I always sell on eBay, because eBay is the biggest bang for your buck, because instead of just selling to a local market, you're now selling to the entire world. So there's just a much bigger opportunity to sell and to sell for a better price on eBay. So all things being equal, when I can sell something on eBay, that's my go-to. And then if I can't because it's too big or for some reason, that's when I sell locally at Craigslist or LETGO in this case. All right, so now let's move on to eBay. And this is a quick breakdown of all the items that I sold over at eBay and how much I got for each one of them. And to keep this video from turning into too long of a video, I am just going to quickly show you the process of me selling my broken iPhone on eBay and just kind of walk you through the process using the app. And if you want to dive deeper in this, I have another video that walks you through how you can tell how much something will actually sell for on eBay, so you can kind of get a feel for what you might be able to sell it for. All right, so with that, let's take a look at this broken iPhone and get this thing sold. All right, so I got this old iPhone 5. So this is like, a few versions back. And I just recently updated, and I'm going to sell this. So I don't know if you can tell, but this has a cracked screen, and I actually have packing tape over it. So it's just not in good shape at all, but I'm going to sell this on eBay, and I'm just kind of walk you through that process of how I list it and just really how simple this is. It is so simple. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is when you get your phone, if you don't have the eBay app yet, just go to the App Store, and then you can go to the search box right here. And we're just going to type in eBay. Search for that, and then this is the eBay app here, so you can just get that and download it. In my case, I already have it, so I'm just going to open it up. Okay, so now that you're over here, we can just kind of type in whatever item you want to sell. If you have a barcode, if you have the box of the item, you can actually scan that with this barcode scanner to save yourself even more time. But in my case, I'm just going to go ahead and type in what I got here. iPhone 5. Let's just see, and then we'll start auto-filling the different options here. So it's not a 5S, it's a 5, it is black, and it's Verizon. Let's see if they got that on here. Here we go. iPhone 5, 16 gigabyte black, Verizon. Okay, so I can just select that, and it's going to create a draft for me, pull in all the details. And so if you're selling a more obscure item that isn't that common, you might not be able to do this. You might need to manually enter in your title and description, but they have a lot of items in here that'll kind of pull that for you. Now, if you're selling a used item, you don't really want to use a stock photo. It's a lot better if you use your own photos. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of pull in my own photos over here. So obviously I'm doing this on an iPhone. It's going to be a little bit different on an Android, but I think you get the idea. So I'm just selecting the photos that I took of this phone, and I'll just you can drag these around, and I'm going to put this one of the front screen showing that it's on there. So I just took a handful of pictures. I took about 7 pictures of the phone. More is always better than less. Don't just take one picture. And I also took a picture of the cracked screen, because this one has a cracked screen. And any kind of flaws or problems with the item you're selling, you want to make sure you have pictures of them and let the buyers know, because the worst thing you can do is not tell them. And so anyway, so we have a handful of images here, and we're just going to click done on the photos. This is our title. It's already kind of built in there. Nothing really to change there. Or actually, I will change. I'm going to add that it has a cracked screen. Like, we're going to put this in the description, but it doesn't hurt to add it other places as well. All right, so we'll do that. Say done. Category, it already did that for us. Put us in there. Condition, we're going to call this used. And then details, we can add a few more details about it. So in my case, I'm not going to spend a lot of time, because it's an iPhone and everybody pretty much knows what they're going to get. So we'll just come back out of there. Details are done. All right, format and price. So this is what's great, is that eBay tells you for most items where they think you should price it. And so they suggest starting your auction at $49 in this case. So similar items that sold had a starting price between $40 and $65. And you could do that. Sometimes I like to price it lower than that to get more people bidding on it, because the more people who are bidding on it, the more likely one of them is to buy it and to drive the price up. So if you have 10 people bidding on your item, it becomes a little bit of an emotional thing if you've ever been involved in an auction where you really want to win. So that'll drive your price up a little bit.
versus if you price it really, really high, fewer people are going to bid on it. So you probably won't get as high of a price. In this case, I'm going to probably split the difference and just go with like a $29 start price on this. And then I'm also going to add a buy it now price because I think these are fun. So the buy it now price is basically somebody can just bypass the entire auction and pay whatever we want, whatever our price is, and they can walk away with it right then. And that's kind of a fun thing. And sometimes it surprises me. So what I'm going to do is based on here, it says similar items that were sold were listed for between $60 and $99. So I'm going to list a buy it now price for $99. So if somebody wants it at that price, they can just come and get it. And meanwhile, I have the start price at $29. And starting prices, you can go with eBay's recommendation. That's not at all going to be bad. But I typically tell people whatever the start price is, or set that wherever you would be happy to sell this item. So if this phone sold for $5, I would not be happy going through the work to sell it for $5. But if it sells for $29, it's worth my time. And so I'm happy to do that. So find that point for yourself, and that should be your starting price. And then from here, shipping is I typically just use what they have built in and just kind of go with that. Because if you have this hooked up through PayPal, which I recommend you do very strongly, you can just print the shipping right from PayPal, throw it in your mailbox, and just be done with it. It's really, really simple. And the way they set up shipping is that it's calculated, and we can just clip over here real quick. By default, it's calculated based on where the buyer's location is. So it's going to be adjusted to every buyer location. And then also a really cool thing they started not too long ago is this international shipping program or their global shipping program, they call it, where you can sell to anyone in the world, but you don't have to ship outside of the United States. So if I sell this phone to somebody over in Europe, I won't need to ship it over to Europe. I will just need to ship it to eBay's hub that might be in Virginia or something like that. And then they will take care of getting it over to Europe for the buyer. So anyway, I recommend having that on. And pretty much just leaving all this stuff as it is. And then down here is the preferences for payment and stuff like that. And let's just flip over there real quick. And you definitely want to hook up a PayPal account. So if you don't have one, you need to get a PayPal account. It's just the gold standard for eBay. Everybody uses it on here. I don't think you have to do that, but very few buyers are going to work with you if you don't, because there's just a lot of protections for the buyers when they use PayPal. And so PayPal just makes the whole transaction process just safer and more convenient for everybody. People can get paid instantly, and the instances of fraud are pretty much non-existent for most eBay transactions because everybody's using PayPal. Versus if you are mailing checks or money orders or stuff like that, that's where it gets really shady and you might run into people trying to scam you and stuff like that. So pretty much use PayPal, stay safe, and that's the best way to handle this. So from here, just hit continue. And then it's just kind of going through, double checking everything. It shows us here our listing fees. All of this stuff is free. I don't know what the exact seller fee is. I believe let's click here. I believe it's 10% or something like that. And not sure if they're going to show it on here or not. Anyway, yeah. So it says your first 50 listings per month, 10% total amount of the sale. So that's what you're going to pay. So if this sells for $70, I'm going to pay them $7. And they also have an option here to auto relist it. So if it happens to not sell the first time, they would automatically just relist it again and do that up to 2 more times for me. And so that's pretty much it. So I can click preview here and just double check, make sure the pictures are right and I don't have anything weird in there. I can read over everything, read over the description and all the rules. And then that's it. And then I can click list it. And so I'm just going to go ahead and click list it. And there we go. And it says now your item is listed for sale. So what we can do is I can view the listing if I would like. And now it's just sitting up here on eBay. And so it shows out there. And then, you will probably, assuming you have notifications turned on, you should get notifications if somebody bids on it and when it sells or anything like that. But you can come over to this My eBay tab. And from here, you can always kind of flip down to see the items that you are selling. Let's just see what we got here. So here's the one active item I have that I'm selling. And it'll show you how many people are watching it. And those are people who are just kind of paying attention and wanted to see what's going on, but haven't bid. And it'll also show you the number of people bidding on it as well. Yeah. And that is the listing process. But As you can see, it's just a very simple, streamlined process. And yeah, they've just worked really hard to make it really, really easy to sell something. So your homework now is to go find something. If you have a phone laying around, let's go find that and try to sell it, or find something else and let's just give this a shot. And I want to see how it goes for you. On this channel, we help you make more money, we help you save more money, and we help you to give generously. So if that's something that interests you, you can hit that subscribe button, hit the bell if you want to hear from us as we create more content like this. And a thumbs up would be really appreciated as well if you enjoyed the video. But that is all for today. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you later. Adios.